Welcome back to more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Last time, we made it through the Turnip Cup, so this time, we're finishing up Wave 2. I think I'm switching back to my main of Rosalina, and we'll be sticking with the same kart setup as always. So next up is the Propeller Cup. We're starting out with Sydney Sprint from Mario Kart Tour. This might actually be my favorite city track so far. I like this one a lot, except there's one thing that's kind of weird about this course. Technically two things that are weird about this course, but one that's actually kind of annoying, and the other I actually kind of like. So starting out, we have to go through the Sydney Opera House, and this is the one problem I have with this stage. As you go through here, all of the people in the stands are actually 2D, they're not 3D models. That's actually used in other courses to my knowledge, but not this close up where you can clearly see that they're just 2D sprites. I kind of wish they could have put in the 3D models, especially because they're used elsewhere in this course, but overall that's kind of a nitpick. I feel like it doesn't, impact my overall enjoyment of this course, but it is something that stands out as kind of odd. Beyond that though, I really like this course. This is definitely a standout, possibly top 3. I don't know, I really like Wave 2 to the point where actually narrowing down the top 3 is actually pretty difficult. Like I said last time, I really like Calamari Desert, but I also really like this track, and there are actually 2 more in this particular cup alone that I really like. Now we're going through the lap 2 setup, which is actually really wild. We're basically going through like this little park, and now we're coming up on the finish line. But the odd thing is, we're not going right. We're actually continuing to go straight. Lap 2 is not over. I haven't done a time trial run of any of the Wave 1 or 2 courses yet to like time things out, but I'd actually be very curious to see what lap 2 like what the time of lap 2 is versus lap 1 and 3. I'd almost be willing to bet lap 2 alone is actually not that far away in time from combining the other 2, because it just feels like it goes on for a while. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I actually think it's kind of cool to have like a lap 2 that just kind of goes through a huge part of the stage. But it does lead to the stage feeling a little bit imbalanced in terms of overall stage length. Because you go through one super long lap and everything else just is a lot shorter. Yeah, a lot of the tour, like, real-world locations are very creative in terms of, like, stage layout, in terms of, like, rearranging the track as you go through, and I do like that. I've seen theories that this could be testing the waters for the next mainline Mario Kart, having more, like, transforming tracks, which I would actually like as someone who actually really liked Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed. Actually, that was just Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed because they had a lot of copyright, or crossover characters. But yeah, that game had a lot of transforming tracks, so I kind of would like to see Mario Kart go in that direction as well. Our second track is Snowland from Mario Kart Super Circuit. This, believe it or not, is actually one of my favorite tracks from Wave 2, for a couple reasons. One, Mario Kart Super Circuit was the very first Mario Kart ever played on GBA. I think I got it with my GBA, actually. And I can't say I liked the game. I liked it at the time. In hindsight, I feel like everything feels extraordinarily slippery, even if you're not in Snowland. So it's not my favorite to actually play nowadays, but I remember playing it a ton when I first played it, or when I first got a GBA. So I have a lot of nostalgia. As soon as I heard this song, I got chills because of nostalgia. I love the atmosphere of the stage, I love the ice texture on the road, which I don't think it actually makes you slip, but it definitely helps to make this look a little bit less flat than some of the other, tour tracks. Something else interesting about this is it's actually more like true to the original design, because a lot of the GBA tracks in Mario Kart Tour are actually like truncated slightly. Like the sky level from last time was really cut down, and as someone who likes that track, it kind of was a bummer to me that they cut out a lot of that stage. But this feels like it's a more true interpretation. But kind of more like Cheeseland, it has the layout, but it definitely adds some nice twists to it. So yeah, the layout is largely unchanged, but you do have like terrain, which is more than like I can say about like Mario Kart or Mario Circuit 3, which they kept very flat like the original SNES design. But with the GBA tracks like Cheeseland and Ribbon Road, they seem to add a lot of depth to them in terms of like, yeah, actually having terrain, which I actually prefer, because otherwise this is just a very bare bones track. So yeah, it's also unusual because it hasn't actually been in any other Mario Kart game, including Tour. It's not in Tour yet, kind of like Coconut Mall last time, where that was in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe first, and then added to Tour shortly after. So I assume this is coming soon to Tour, maybe as a winter track. And yeah, it hasn't even been in like any other game too. This is like its first appearance since the original. And yeah, overall it's a pretty cool track, pun intended. Again, it's largely nostalgia, but yeah, this was one of the standout tracks, also because no one expected it either. We have another fan favorite, Mushroom Gorge from Mario Kart Wii. Oddly enough, I am not the biggest fan of this track, because I've had a lot of bad luck on this particular level whenever I've tried to practice this particular cup. For whatever reason, I've gotten sniped at the very end multiple times and lost at the very last moment. Right now, Toad is already getting a lead, which is not my favorite thing when the AI gets that far ahead at the very beginning, because that just makes it harder to catch up later. There are two routes there, a left path, and then there's also a right path through the mushrooms. We'll go that way later because it's actually faster. We have a series of mushrooms that actually is interesting because it changes in like every appearance of this course. But we also have a glide boost there that will launch us into a glide, the blue one there. But yeah, I want to say Mario Kart 7 on 3DS and Mario Kart Tour all had slightly different arrangements of the mushroom platforms. So this actually throws off fans constantly because it's constantly changing. So like if you're trying to play this level like in other games, you might go too far and fall off a mushroom. Why is Toad so far ahead? That's really weird actually for the AI to be like doing this well. I'm a little bit concerned, but there is a blue shell coming up, so I'm not as concerned as I would be otherwise. So let's just kind of hang back a little bit and let the blue shell do its job. Oh yeah, when I said that Snowland was really unexpected, what I meant by that is there was actually a rumor before the cups were announced that the entire like set of courses leaked. Believe it or not, it's actually believed to be the case again for the Wave 3, that we already know like the majority of the courses through data mining. But basically, every course was predicted correctly, except I think they said Mario Circuit 1 originally when it was Mario Circuit 3, which is better. But also, I think the only other mistake on this data mine, or on this leak, was Rainbow Road instead of Snowland. So when Snowland was actually the track, it was a huge surprise, because all the other tracks are pretty much rumored, except Snowland. So it was actually kind of cool to see it getting announced kind of out of nowhere. So that also made it feel a little bit more special that no one was predicting it, unlike, you know, this track, which had been rumored. Ending off Wave 2, we have Sky High Sunday, which is actually a new track. It will be added to Mario Kart Tour at some point, but it is technically making its debut here. I like this track a lot, but there's one part that kind of bothers me. Like 99% of this track is really fun. For some reason, that particular boost, I always mess up, and I don't know why. That's not the thing I don't like, by the way. This is actually the first anti-grav course in all of the DLCs so far, because Tour doesn't actually have anti-gravity yet, so none of the courses have had it so far. I wonder if that means anti-gravity might be added to Tour in the future. This is the part I'm not really crazy about, partly because that initial jump is lined up in such a way that it's actually really difficult to see where the next platform is, but believe it or not, I've actually never fallen there, because as long as you, like, don't turn too much, it's lined up pretty well that you're going to land on the next platform, so it feels scarier than it actually is, basically. But I do wish, like, the camera wasn't, like, set up in such a way that you really can't see where you're landing, but beyond that, I do like this course a lot. Aesthetically, it's actually pretty bright and vibrant. I like how you can use the little handrail to boost off of through the anti-gravity. But I also wish that more anti-gravity had been incorporated into these tracks in general. Like, I think anti-gravity would have been really fun in, like, Waluigi Pinball. But because of most of the other courses just being directly drawn from Tour, we didn't have any, like, additions like anti-gravity in a lot of cases, which is kind of a bummer. But in general, it is nice to actually have. It's nice to have an actual original track and one that has anti-gravity for once. One thing worth mentioning is, like I was talking about before, a lot of the tracks were like the track labels were actually data mined, but this one was blank, which led people to believe it would be an original track. And there are actually plenty of more like that, so people don't know if those are placeholders for like other labels, or if we are actually getting like several more like tracks debuting in 8, even though they will also be added to Tour later. Either way, it is exciting though, I say, as I'm gonna get hit by another blue shell, which I'm not crazy about. The worst time to get hit by blue shell is at the very end. We have a red shell though, so we might be able to salvage this, but it's going to be very close. Yeah, I think we're in good shape, but yeah, we definitely cut that way too close. I was very worried that the red shell was going for us, but it was going for Daisy instead. So yeah, we managed to get first place in all races of Wave 2, which is pretty cool. And that concludes the Propeller Cup. Overall, I think this is the strongest overall cup of all of them so far. I like basically every track, again, even though Mushroom Gorge personally is out to get me, it seems, and Sky High Sundae does have a few blind jumps. I really like all 4 of these courses. I like all 8 of these courses, actually, even though I definitely prefer some over others. And another perfect score of 60 points and 3 stars. Like before, we will be coming back to this whenever Wave 3 drops, which, if I had to guess, will probably be around November, December. So yeah, we'll go through those. Again, we actually know or have a pretty good idea of what's going to be in Wave 3 because of data mining for Wave 2. I'm not going to talk about it because of spoilers, but I'm just going to say, if the data mine is actually correct, I'm very excited for Wave 3. But with that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.